See if I can follow up on the DAX trade.
Wait. Matron, take them away.
Okay, guys. Now, earlier on, let me just clean this down. I want to show you something. I was trading here. Okay, and in it, I caught the retracement, which was here. Straight up into the zone, choppity chop, and pushed down. Now, I did pull the plug in and around here because I was unsure of it. And as we can see, it is starting to collapse. Now, I've also been kind of watching this. And this has been interesting for me. Because let me do something for you. So if I put a retracement on this, which is from there to there, it's just cracking the 23 now. Okay? And I'm quite happy to carry on that down into the 50. So I'm going to drop an order in just underneath here because this candle's about to close. There it is there. Right, okay. So what I'm going to do is just going to tidy that up there. I'm going to kind of zone it out and explain it a little bit to you. So if I take this rectangle here, duplicate it, put that down here somewhere. The green is the target zone, and the red is kind of the entry zone. All right, so just get rid of that. Don't need them anymore. So what it's done, it's made a break. There it is. It's entered the trade now as we speak, with a view to come here. Why? Because that is one colossal move. Straight up, straight down. Right? Lot of down pressure. But it was already here. So can't really do anything with it. Okay? If it had ended up down here, I would have looked for a break of this and then down. And I kind of watched it moving up. Now, what I also wanted to see was whether or not this will do a breakout to the upper side, which would be to around this area. So what I will be doing, just drop that in there. So what I will be doing at this point is I've got like a number of issues or a number of things that I can look for. So if I just drop that in there, if it breaks that, I'd sort of be thinking, right, I either want it to come and retest it and break away, or come right into it and then look to short the thing down, right? If it did a significant break here, because that would have shown me that this downward pressure was continuing. Okay, so that's one thing. Now, the next part of it is, if it breaks the top of this, I'd be looking for a similar situation, but I want to see it shorthand. So I'd want to see it get up here, roll back on itself, and then come back up again. Well, it didn't. It just kind of went, ugh, and then it started dying off, as it's doing here. And because that was the trigger candle, this one here, that made this one the entry candle. Don't get me wrong, I know Popeye will jump in straight away having a go about the way this works and that you should have been buying on this one and all of this. Well, you cockless wonder, get your downvote in now. How did you know that was going to turn at that point? We don't. Let the market show you its hand. That's the key to this game. All right. And I know you can sort of try and preempt it, but in reality, we can't. You trade what you see. Now, this is a little bit of a good timing because of the news event that's just been in play. Because all of the indicators were telling you to go down, the fundamentals were telling you it's going up, but ultimately, none of us knew. You know, we don't know till the chart tells us. So my theory is always sit out, and if I'm wrong, well, at least I know how much I'm going to be wrong, because with this, for all this might cost me a bit of money, now this is shown its hand as the retracement because it hasn't got up there. It's shown the break here, telling me it's coming here. I can average in up to this point. Now, all that means is, yeah, this will sit in a little bit of heat, but I can maybe put another order here, another one there. They'll pick them up and it rolls over. Not overly difficult. All right. So letting a chart show its hand is actually a good thing because charts often retrace on themselves. Look, that's what it's doing now. And all right, it's 100 quid. But on the DAX, that's nothing. It's very, very small. You know, and if I look to move this up, sort of from there to there, which is my parameter, I put another order in around here, another one there. And then if it gets back above here, I'll start making a decision as to whether or not I want to get out of this thing. You know, so let me just put that into place. Sort of there. Onto the top of that. And I'll worry about that one if it gets there. So all I'll do is I'll just draw a little line on. Just here so I can see what it is. Drop that there and move it on. So if price comes up near that, I'll look to put the last order in. But in the meantime, I'm just going to let this run out because it's shown its hand in the sense that it's run out of steam. Why is that? I'll just recap it and then we'll let this play out and I'll come back at the end. That big tail told you there might have been a lot of buyers pushing this thing up, but there was a hell of a lot of sellers pushing it down. So that created that huge wick. Okay. So if that huge wick was created, then it's a high probability this is going to roll over. Okay. So that's why I wasn't really bothered about the continuation. But I was watching it anyway. Moving up, moving up, moving up. Now I could have expanded the fib up onto the top of here. However, I kind of wanted to see what was going on because I kind of think this one is where the benchmark is. And sure enough, it's kind of stalled at that point to a degree. It never really got up above it, so I had to wait a bit. And I wanted to see what was going on. Well, waiting paid off while I was doing the other trade, and then it's come back, giving me an opportunity for the last thing at night, and there it is there coming into play now. Hasn't gone against me that much, not really, and if it does, I'll bring it up to here, and then those running down to there will give me my extra money. Hope that kind of makes sense. My contact details, etc., are down in the description, and so is the premise of what the Scruffy squad is, the Discord group I run. If you message me, I always answer. Well, let's play this out because you can kind of see what I'm up to, and we'll see whether it's good, bad, or indifferent. But if it gets up into this area, I'm going to have to rethink about what's going on, certainly if it breaks that top. Okay, but at the meantime, I'm reasonably happy with the trade. Catch you in a bit. Okay guys, looks like we are not a million miles away from where I want it to be, so we'll just get rid of that for now. Don't particularly need that. So what can I do? Well, I could take the bulk of that off. I'm going to now. Let's take £4 of that out. And then pull that down and trail the stop. Now, what's that going to do for me? Well, just pull that down slightly. I can't lose now. You know, got a decent amount banked. It's risk-free. It's come into the zone where we wanted it to be. And we'll just kind of follow it down. See what happens. You know, might get a decent amount out of this. Who knows? So let's finish it and then I'll come back. Are you making the coffee? Good girl. Good girl. Right, boys and girls. Off the scoop to get the coffee. Good girl. And after the conversation we've just had. First world problems is all I'll say. In the last video, you might have seen me decide whether we're going somewhere hot or cold. She said she wanted to go somewhere hot. So we're off to Jamaica in January. That's my Christmas present to Joanne. However, this afternoon, she wanted to go to the sunbed shop. And it's shut all through Christmas. Well, I wonder why. God help me. But God did help me today. Help me on the charts. And why is that? Because I followed my plan. And I stuck with it. And as you've just seen, I trailed the stop down because it came down to where I wanted it to be, got the most of the money out. So I was happy, not greedy, not chasing, and then just decided to follow to see how far it would go. Well, there's nothing left running. There's no orders anywhere. And it ran an extra 90 pips pretty much from where I got in. So I'm more than pleased with how that trade played out. Now, the trade I was doing earlier, not so much. Cable trade was really hard because it wasn't really playing the game. That's why I wanted to come out of it, and I did, as I was sort of trying to explain a little bit earlier on. But this one was really good, you know, the DAX. So you can't win them all. You never can. But you can plan them all. And there's a big difference between that. One of the things I'm asked all the time is, and I kind of see it regularly, people get frustrated when they're losing and sort of, the market went against me and this happened and that happened. And then they get really uptight. Then they start complaining and twisting and one thing and another. And I always wonder why. Because you should know your exit as well as your entry before you go to market. And if you know where that exit is, then you know how much this trade is going to cost you. And if it costs too much, either don't take it, half the position size, do what you need to do. But, oh, well done, girl. You're a star. I like her. She come again. But, yeah, if the trade costs too much, a bit like she costs too much, but at least she's worth it. Question what you're doing. Why is it costing too much? Is your stop too wide? Well, why is it too wide? Now, personally, I have a wide stop. I like 2 structure points or 2 levels away, but I'll stage into it so it naturally reduces the exposure. But if I look at it and I think, well, it's wide, but it's going to cost an utter fortune, I'll question as to whether or not I want to take that trade. And if I don't want to take that trade, I have to ask another question. What am I going to do about it? Am I going to sit out of it altogether? Or am I going to cost it so that it's palatable? So for argument's sake, say it's £500, you know, 250 pips at £2 a pip. You'd sort of go, not paying that, you know, because if you're doing a swing trade, you could easily have a stop that big. You can just say, well, I'll trade it pound a point. Half the position size. Am I happy with that? Oh, it's still too much. So I'll just trade it 50p a point. Bring it right down. When you're day trading, you can do the same thing. You can go, right, I think this trade is going to cost me £50, pound a point. Oh, £50 a lot of money on this account. You know, it's only a £500 account. That's 10%. You know, £50 on £1,000. It's quite a lot. You know, you can sort of think, should I, shouldn't I? But why not just leave your stop where it is? Because obviously it was there for a reason. And half the position size. And then you're at peace with the cost of the trade. And then if you're at peace with the cost of the trade, if it goes wrong, well, why are you upset? You were already happy on the point of pressing the button. I hope that kind of, in a strange way, rings true. Because one of the things about trading is do your tasks, but do them in a controlled manner. And if you can't do it in a controlled manner, then I'm afraid you're falling into the realms of gambling. And that's the worst place to be, because you'll start over trading. You'll over leverage. You'll put too big a position on, and you'll be angry all the time. And you're angry because the market will be better than you, and it will take it off you because it doesn't even know you exist. You know, it'll just go bye-bye. And that's how you win, you know, just by being sensible. Something for you to think about. So as always, guys, trade well, keep your risk managed. Above all, do what you love, and the money will follow. See you all in the next one.